Hey guys, and welcome on in to another episode of Flying High Free MLB Picks. I'm Terry, ready to break down today's slate, but we will take a look at what happened at the final. I guess I shouldn't say final, but the second final NHL regular season night. There are two games tonight. The only one that really matters is Colorado and Nashville. If Colorado wins, they will face the Seattle Kraken. And if Colorado loses, then they will face the Minnesota Wild. So it's up to Colorado if they want to face the Wild or the Kraken. Their fate is in their hands, and I guess Nashville also controls a little bit of that. But taking a look at what happened yesterday in the NHL, Boston didn't cover the puck line, but they got their 65th win and continued their amazing season that Boston had. Carolina and Florida. I was on Florida. They battled they really battled hard at the end, but could not get the win. Because of that, they will face the Boston Bruins in a series that I predict will go 4 or 5 games. Florida, you really had to win this game, and because you didn't, it's going to be a short playoff series for the Panthers, in my opinion. Detroit and Tampa Bay, 5-0 Tampa Bay victory. The Bolts plus money to win their series against the Toronto Maple Leafs. So, speaking of this, we will have the NHL playoff show tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. I'll figure it out. But we will be going over each playoff series sometime tomorrow. So keep an eye out on the channel for that. Turn your notifications on so you will know when we go live. Devils and Capitals, 5-4 win for the Devils, 4-3 win for the Sabres in Craig Anderson's final game, or what's expected to be his final game. Blue Jackets with the win against Pittsburgh, Leafs with the win against the Rangers, Colorado with the 4-2 win over Winnipeg, Nashville with the overtime win against the Wild. Minnesota basically had an AHL team, and they battled to get it to overtime. I was on Nyquist anytime goal. He got 2 assists. So that's 5 points in 3 games for Gustav Nyquist. And I predict he's going to have a great playoff series. Blues lost to Dallas in a 1-0 Stars win. The Flyers said no to Jonathan Toews. He even had a chance to get the game winner, but he was unable to put it in the back of the net. And in my opinion, good riddance. I'm glad that he missed it. This Blackhawks team, they're going to go through a long rebuild here, and I'm happy about it. Not just because I'm not a fan of the Blackhawks, but there's other political stuff I won't get into with Jonathan Toews, but we'll just leave it at that. Sharks and Oilers, 5-2 win for the Oilers. No big surprise there. Kings, 5-3 win over the Ducks, and the Ducks have the worst record in the NHL and will have the best chance at getting Connor Bedard will be the Anaheim Ducks. Canucks with the 5-4 win against the Coyotes, and Vegas with a 3-1 win over Seattle. Looking at the divisions here, Carolina won the Metropolitan, and they will face the New York Islanders, and New Jersey and New York Rangers will face each other in the first round. Boston, as I said, will face Florida. Toronto will face Tampa Bay. And then, as I said, the wild card teams, Florida and New York Islanders. Pittsburgh cleaned house, got rid of general manager and their president of operations as well. Pittsburgh looking for change. No, they can't have Bill Guerin back. He's with Minnesota now. So Pittsburgh fans that are asking for, no, Bill Guerin's in Minnesota now. You can't have him back. You shouldn't have let him go. That's what I have to say. Buffalo, Ottawa, and the rest of the Eastern Conference teams. Columbus with a win, which hurt. If they had lost these 2 games, they would have had the best chance at Bedard. But no, they won. And if they win again tonight, that will hurt them even more when it comes to the Bedard race. In the West, Dallas and Colorado, obviously what happens tonight will determine who wins the Central, and Minnesota in third. Vegas won the Western Conference, best record in the Western Conference. Edmonton will face LA in the first round. That'll be an interesting series. And then the wild card teams, Seattle and Winnipeg, followed with the rest of the Western Conference teams. No picks in the NHL today. I did not even cap it, so I apologize. But I wanted to kind of go over and look at the standings one more time here. Bring this game up. The first game we're going to talk about. Jump into the chat here. What's up, Terry? I smash a like. Thanks, Richie. Always do. Hey, Terry. Hey, Crystal. How's it going? I smashed a like after Richie. Thank you, Brian. Thank you. Terry, Isles versus Canes on Monday, LFG. Yes, Nick and Tim are very happy that they will get to go and see playoff games. Nick is obviously happy to see his Islanders in the playoffs. We'll obviously discuss the playoff series tomorrow. But on Twitter, I said previously my thoughts on Isles and Canes, if that was the matchup. I'm going to look over things a little bit more now, but we'll have a playoff show tomorrow. Win for Anderson, yes. Winnipeg is only plus 130 for the series against Vegas. They are live to beat Vegas. And me and Nick are going to have a lot of disagreements tomorrow, but that shouldn't really surprise anybody. Yeah, Winnipeg, no. They kind of ended the season better, which is good for them. But no, they'll be out in the first round, in my opinion, at least. The first game we're going to talk about here, I do have thoughts on the other games, just no picks. I'll go over them in the at the end here. But Tampa Bay and Toronto. Tampa Bay at minus 123 to minus 130. Toronto plus 105 to plus 114. Nines. See a couple 9.5s available here. And I'll start with Tampa Bay's 13-0. They have not lost a game yet. They're putting Rasmussen on the mound here. He's 2-0 and hasn't given up an earned run yet. There's a clear pitching advantage with Tampa Bay in this game. They are undefeated. But as I said previously, Toronto is going to end Tampa Bay's winning streak. Will it be tonight? I hope so. I am on Toronto as an underdog here. I'm not necessarily recommending that you go jump on Toronto. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that, but I can see why people would want to take Tampa Bay here. They are undefeated. They have, as I said, Rasmussen on the mound against Barrios. Clear advantage for Tampa Bay. Some Jays, including Matt Chapman, have really struggled against Rasmussen. So the Matt Chapman money train, which unfortunately was a push yesterday because he didn't play. I'm staying off him today. I will bring up players versus the pitchers they're facing and show a little bit here after I go through the games, and we'll look at the players together. But yeah, I wouldn't recommend Chapman in this one. What I'm doing here is I'm going with the Jays on the money line, and I'm taking the over 9. If the Jays lose this game, I think it's because Barrios has a bad game. And if Barrios has a bad game, this total is going over 9. So I like the over 9. I do like the Blue Jays on the money line, but I can't blame anybody for wanting to take Tampa Bay with how they played this year. But they haven't played a playoff team or even close to a playoff team. Boston, I guess, is the closest that they played. And now this will be a real test for them in this one. Rays first 5 and money line ain't broke, don't fix it. Yes, it will end eventually, and I will not be surprised if it happens here tonight. All the money, basically over 90% of the money, is on Tampa Bay in this one, so we know who books want to win, and we'll see what happens in this one. Angels and Red Sox, LA minus 109 to minus 125. Boston Red Sox minus 106 to plus 105. Nines. Couple 9.5s in this one. Sandoval against Houck. Sandoval 1-0 with a 1.64 ERA. Hauk 2-0 with a 4.50 ERA in this one. Boston coming off the series against Tampa Bay, where unfortunately they did put up a fight and look like maybe they were gonna beat Tampa Bay in a couple games, but then Tampa Bay goes on and scores like 7 runs in an inning and ends that. And that's another reason why I like the over because in the Tampa Bay game because their offense could explode at any minute. The Jays' offense didn't look good yesterday, but it can explode at any moment as well. So that's why I like the over. In this one here, though, I like the Angels. I think this is a good price for the Angels. I think there is a definite pitching advantage with them. I don't like the price in the first 5, which I'll bring up here. You're looking at minus 125. You can get minus 119. So if you can get that, I do like that. But minus 125, minus 128. I'll take the full game at a better price here. Boston's bullpen doesn't scare me. And I think the Angels win this one. I like the Angels here. Dog to a favorite, which Nick has been one of Nick's, I guess, capping strategies, which has been working pretty well for him so far this year, I think. A dog to favorite, LA Angels first 5 and money line. No run first inning, Angels and Red Sox. I could see that. I could see that. Moving on along to the next game here, Texas Rangers and the Houston Astros. Texas plus 140 to plus 145. Houston minus 155 to minus 175. 8.5s right across the board in this one. I'm on Texas. First reason being I like Martin Perez. I really do. Yes, his numbers against Houston aren't the best. Some of the Houston players have definitely smashed him. I believe there were a few games last year where he did pitch really well against Houston, and then a few that he did not. So I'm not quite sure exactly what we're going to get from Perez in this one, but Houston has not been playing to the level that people expected them to. Obviously, it's very early in the season here, but I think this is a good spot for Texas on the road. Even with Perez not doing too well against quite a few Houston batters here, I see a advantage with him over Garcia in this one. So I am on Texas as a dog, but in case things go wrong, which could very well happen, I'm taking the over 8.5 as well in this one. I think at the worst I get a split, but I could see both cashing here, and I'm going to go with the over and Texas in this one. Adolis Garcia home run RBIs. Yes, we will be talking about him here in a few minutes when I bring up the players' stats. We'll move on along to the next one here that I'm going to go over. Pittsburgh Pirates and the St. Louis Cardinals. Pittsburgh plus 130 to plus 135. St. Louis minus 147 to minus 162. 9s. I see a couple 8.5s available here in this one. And I don't care what happens full game in this one. I only care what happens in the first 5. This is a first 5 play for me, and I'm taking Pittsburgh plus a half, which I think I got at minus 110, or you can still, get it at minus 110 in some spots here. I think there's a pitching advantage with Oviedo versus Woodford, and I think this is a good spot for Pittsburgh to keep the game close after 5 innings. What happens after that happens after that, but I like the spot here for Pittsburgh in the first 5. Dun, 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 dun. Raise the Jolly Roger, Pirates first 5. Wow, Nick, are you stealing my plays, Nick? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Your show was on earlier, so technically I would be stealing your plays, even though I couldn't watch because I work at that time, so I can't watch. But yeah, we'll go to the rest of the slate, and I'll kind of give my opinions here. Arizona and Miami. Miami's a big favorite at home here against Arizona. Bumgarner against Rogers. I'm tempted with the over 9. If this was last year, I wouldn't be caught dead taking Miami against a lefty. I wouldn't be going anywhere near the over with Miami against a lefty. However, they did something in the offseason, trying to focus. This obviously must have been a focus for them in the offseason. They're 10th in MLB hitting against lefties this year, instead of dead last as they were last year. So obviously it is early. It is early in the season, but Marlins have hit lefties well so far. Facing Bumgarner, I lean with the over in this one. I think we get a higher scoring game. Although still my instinct, my thought of Miami and overs, uh, it's still not. I'm not quite there. That's why it's only a lean for me. I still very iffy about taking Miami and overs. It is what it is. In the second game, San Francisco and Detroit, Mania against Wentz. Um, both teams, we have the two worst hitting teams against lefties, both facing a lefty, and we have the 29th and the 30th ranked teams in baseball against lefties. Um, I, I have no idea what happens in this one. I think San Francisco wins at minus 140, but I'm not laying minus 140 with them. Um, I think you could look at the under, but yeah, that's ends up being a pass for me in this one. Not going to get involved. Philadelphia and Cincinnati. Walker against Overton. Philly, the fifth best team against righties in baseball. Cincinnati, the 14th. I lean with the over here, but it's out of 10. I don't like that number. And I'm ending up staying off this one. Minnesota and New York Yankees. It was supposed to be Molly on the mound, but he is not pitching any longer. It'll be Cortez for the Yankees. I took the Yankees money line yesterday, and oh boy, was that wrong? Was that wrong? Um, but I think they bounce back here in this spot. But I'm not betting it. Um, the Yankees should definitely bounce back in this spot, but I'm just going to stay off. I ultimately just don't have a good feeling about it. But I expect a much better performance from the Yankees today in this one. Cleveland and Washington, Quantrill against Williams. I'm tempted on taking Washington here. As I've said previously, I'm only going to really look for them with Mackenzie Gore unless they go on a winning streak or something, or another pitcher stands out. Williams hasn't pitched too bad to start off the year for being a Washington National. Um, but I'm staying off this one here ultimately. It'll be a lean with Washington, but I'm not getting to it in this one. Tampa Bay, Toronto, we went over. Baltimore and the White Sox. This is a really interesting game. I really wanted to bet this game, but for me, it's a 50-50 split. I could see either team winning this game. Wells against Clevenger. Um, I think Clevenger has the pitching advantage. Baltimore hits righties better than the White Sox. Baltimore, the 10th best in MLB, the White Sox 20th. I think that it's priced correctly. I think it's a very, very close game, and I can't pick a winner. So, uh, even though I'd like to, I want to bet that game. Not just going to bet something for whatever reason, you know. So, not just going to bet it to have action in it. Only if you have an edge. Angels, Boston, we went over. Atlanta and Kansas City in this one. Morton against Singer. I'm staying off here. Just staying off. Don't have a good feeling about that one. Brady Singer is probably the better pitcher, but Atlanta's by far the better team. So that game's ultimately a pass. Texas Houston, we went over. Pittsburgh St. Louis, we went over. The Mets and the Oakland Athletics. I made a mistake, and that's in this game. Mets first five minus a half was minus 110 last night. And I decided to wait till the morning, and now it's minus 130. So 20-cent move. I'm I'm not betting it. Not when I could have got -110 yesterday. I do like the Mets, which really shouldn't surprise anybody. They're facing Oakland here, and they have their rookie pitcher, who's pitched really well to start off the year. So at this point, Mets money line and a parlay, but that's basically it for me here. I'm not taking the -2. I'm not taking the -1.5 at -125, -130. I cannot do that with the Mets, but I may end up having their money line in a parlay piece in a parlay because I do believe they'll win this game. My Milwaukee, San Diego. Um, no, it's been a pitching change in this one. It'll be Eric Lauer on the mound. When I went and checked the odds in this game this morning and saw Milwaukee +145, I was thinking, "Oh my God, have we been given a present here?" And then I saw that the pitching change had happened. It was supposed to be Peralta on the mound today, but it'll be Eric Lauer instead. If I was getting +145 with Peralta, um, that would have been a huge play for me on the Brewers. But now that the pitchers have changed, um, it's a pass for me in this game. I'm not going to get involved here, but I still kind of lean with the Brewers, but don't feel good about it. Colorado and Seattle, Gomber against Gonzalez. Uh, I like Seattle here. I don't like the price. So Seattle money line would have to be a parlay piece for me, but I don't like the price with them, so I'm going to stay off. And then Cubs and LA Dodgers. That is my premium play of the day up on the site, or so my exclusive play up on the site. So if you want my pick in that game, and I doubled up in this game as well. So if you want my pick in this game, you can get it up on the site at Picks and Parlays. The link is in the description below. Use code MLB to get 20% off of the package. But that is it for the MLB slate. I will bring up player stats here while we go through the chat. Yeah, you thief. Yeah, I guess so. Best bet for Nick today is going to be Kansas City Royals. First 5 money line. All right. +105. Diamondbacks first 5 +0.5. Mariners first 5 -0.5. Yeah, I just don't like that -130. I do like that bet. I just don't like the price. Rizzo home run. Best of luck. Crystal is going to go with a 2-team parlay here. New York Mets money line plus Cleveland. Cleveland. I couldn't spell Cleveland for some reason. +144. H. Captain Bry is going to go with Tampa Bay money line plus New York Mets money line. +169. Right. Tim is going to go with Washington Nationals money line +130. Right. Thought about replacing Rays with Mariners, but not jumping off the money train. Hey, I totally understand why you wouldn't want to. Texas Rangers. Whoa, Richie. Texas Rangers to win by 4+ by 4+ runs +450. Well, if that happens, I'll be in a pretty good mood with the over and with Texas money line as a dog. But here is the stats. If you want this website, swishanalytics.com, they basically show batters against pitchers. And yes, Maldonado, Bregman, Tucker, and McCormick all hit Perez very well. Bregman has 8 hits, but 32 at bats, only a 250 average. But as you can see here, you can see I rank it by hits because if you do average, there are guys that have faced somebody once that are hitting 100. So that it's tough to really see there. So what I do is I click by hit, and then I look at the average, how many at bats, and that kind of stuff. So Swanson is a good look against Syndergaard. Moustakas is a good look against Gonzalez. Cruz, if he plays, 5 for 8 against Lauer. If you want to take somebody against Tampa Bay Rays, if you're looking for Blue Jays, Espinal is 4 for 9 against Rasmussen. Vladdy, 5 for 17. Chapman is 1 for 10. So that's what I'm saying. I'm off Chapman props, especially if he's not feeling well if he plays in this game. He's probably still going to get a double, but I'm going to stay off his props for this one. Be looking at Espinal or Vladdy. And then there's lots of other players here. And if you want to see them, Randy Rosarena hits Barrios very well. So does Margot. And if you want any of these stats, this website, as I said, it is called swishanalytics.com. And you can find good stats for player props there. But we'll go to the best bet segment here. Dun, 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 dun. And we'll look at what happened yesterday. So for me, Chapman over 1.5 bases, unfortunately pushed because he was not playing. Captain Bry, Tampa Bay first 5 minus a half, Cincinnati money line plus 200. Tampa Bay, I think what they scored 8 runs in the bottom of the 5th. So that was a great one for you, Captain Bry. Crystal, Lodolo over 7.5 strikeouts. Sally didn't cash. Nick went with Devils -1. They won by 1. Lane went with the Red Sox money line, which didn't cash. Clear and I am went with Rays -1.5, which won. Richie unfortunately didn't cash with Pavelski anytime goal. AJ's didn't cash with McCutcheon over half a base. Terry went with Cardinals -1.5. Goldschmidt hit. Cardinals did not show up to that game. And then Kev Cook went with Minnesota Twins money line. And they were victorious in the game. Looking at the standings for the month of April here. If it will go up, for some reason it is not expanding. Oh, there we go. Richie in first, Clear and I am in second, Crystal in third. Some of us here bunched all together in the green. Some of us here in the red. Overall, up 17.11 units if you've been betting everyone's best bet all month long. Going to today, for me, no Chapman. No Chapman props today for me for my best bet. So I'm going to go with my favorite bet of the day. That's how I'm going to choose today's best bet. And it's going to be the LA Angels money line -109. Nick is going with Kansas City Royals first 5, money line +105. Crystal going with the Mets and the Cleveland Guardians. Captain Bry going with the Rays and the Mets. Tim going with Nationals money line. Richie going with Rangers to win by 4 or more runs. This one. Lots of green. Yes, much better than last month. And that's the thing too, is that why I'm not too upset about last month, like for myself, is because everybody struggled last month. It's just how it was. And now we're all not all of us are in the green, but a lot of us are in the green, and that's what happens. It was just a rough month. But that is the show for today. As I said, there will be a show tomorrow for the NHL. Where I will go, me and hopefully others will go over our playoff predictions, and I'll have the recorded show for tomorrow's slate up tonight as usual. But best of luck to everybody in your bets tonight, and we'll see you again tomorrow for NHL playoff show and Flying High free MLB picks. Best of luck, everybody.